God Almighty, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, be with you and remain with you now and forever.
Hola amigos, Jack here again at the Vinyl Voyage with another video. In today's video, focusing on Spanish psychedelic albums, an area of psychedelia that I had no knowledge of at all prior to going to Spain on my recent holiday. And that's really what I set out to do when I went over there, when I went record hunting in Spain, was to find Spanish psychedelic albums. Things that I couldn't find or couldn't readily find in the UK. So I wasn't interested in the Electric Prunes or Syd Barrett's Pink Floyd. I wanted to find something different. And yeah, I love doing stuff like that, especially if you're traveling abroad, you want to try and find some new sounds. And all these albums were completely new to me. The bands were all new to me. I had no idea about the Spanish psychedelic scene of the late 60s, early 70s. And luckily, a couple of the shops that I went into in Barcelona and Tarragona, the guys that were working in the shops, the owners, they had really good knowledge of especially Catalonian psych, Spanish psych in general, and they gave me some pointers. So I kind of said to the guys working in the record shops that it was predominantly pop psych that I liked. I didn't like massive long guitar solos. I don't mind a little bit of stuff, stuff like that, but I don't like it too heavy. I like to chill out to some nice pop psych melodies. And yeah, I was well steered because I got some beauties, and I'll show you these now. So the first one I got was this album by Los Brincos. It's their third album called Contrabando from 1968. And I believe this is kind of considered their creative masterpiece. They were kind of considered the Spanish Beatles, and their earlier albums were very much Beatles inspired, very British Invasion inspired. But this is a little bit more to it, I believe. And yeah, this is a great pop psych album. Lovely orchestration in a number of the songs, really fantastic melodies. And like a lot of Spanish psychedelic bands, beat bands from the time, been very influenced by British bands like the Kinks, the Who, the Beatles. They sing in both, certainly in this album, they sing in both English and Spanish. And as much as this has a real British flavour to it, there's still an unmistakable Spanish influence in there as well, where they do look to more traditional Spanish music. You can hear it in some of the brass parts in here and some of the orchestration. There's a real Spanish flavour to it. But yeah, this is fantastic. Really, really good stuff. It came on this Novola label. And some of the great songs on here. So Lola, the opening track, nothing to do with the Kinks track. That was their first single. It's really, really catchy. This song here, Rapidamente, that's so catchy as well. It's real fantastic orchestration in there, quite a kind of Baroque pop psych sound. El Pasporte, the third track, I think that's a song written about a guy who finds out that his lover may be underage after he's looked at her passport. The song The Train, the fifth track, caused a bit of controversy at the time. So the riff that runs through The Train is Substitute. It's pretty much identical to The Who's Substitute. And I believe that Pete Townshend actually took the band to court over The Train. And I believe that he lost, which is hard to believe, because if you hear that riff, it's identical. They've taken it, yeah, they've just pinched it from Pete Townshend, who wrote Substitute a year before The Train came out. But yeah, I believe that the courts ruled in favour of Los Brincos, so they dodged a bullet there. But yeah, just full of great songs. This guy here, Fernando Arbex, was the drummer, and I believe he was the kind of main driving force behind the band as well. But yeah, like a lot of Spanish beat bands, psych bands of the time, they actually went to London to record this. And it was produced by Larry Page, who had worked with both the Trogs and the Kinks. Yeah, really tremendous stuff, this. I think most of the things that I got were reissues. I think this is an early press, not a first press, but certainly an early press. But yeah, I was well guided by the owner of Wawa Records in picking this up, because I love this. Really catchy, really upbeat, great melodies. You can hear those Beatle influences, and lovely artwork as well. But yeah, a great pop psych album. That is Los Brincos with their third album, Contrabando, from 1968. So the next album is almost in complete contrast to the polished psychedelic pop of Los Brincos. This is Shock, and their collection of songs that were recorded in 1970. So they were a band from the late 60s, early 70s that put out one single at the time. There's this opening track here, I Want to Laugh, and then faded into obscurity. They never ever put out an album. This reissue of their 1970s material was put together by Gerson, and yeah, it's a cracking record. This isn't pop psych. This is more primal, tribal, garage psych, a little bit jammier, a lot heavier, lots of fuzzy, heavy guitar tones, some crazy bongo playing. The drums in this are excellent. And like I said, a little bit jammier too. It's got a bit of it's a mixture of English vocals and Spanish lyrics as well, which I really like, all played by these whacked out Spanish hippies. I believe that single, I Want to Laugh, being their only recorded output during their tenure, is a bit of a grail for collectors as well. They're a very obscure band, and it's great that they've been rediscovered, because yeah, really enjoyed this. A bit heavier than what I normally like to listen to, but yeah, really excellent. That opening track, I Want to Laugh, starts with this fantastic Magic Roundabout-esque little organ tune, and then you get the crazy, over the top of this kind of little childish carnival tune. You have these crazy bongos coming in, then fantastic fuzzed out raw guitars, and then it all kicks off from there. Yeah, really good stuff. So that is Shock from 1970. This was put out on Gerson Records. Next then we have some psychedelic folk pop out of Catalonia. This is En Gran Day, or The Great Day. Sorry for any Spanish people watching, that's probably a terrible pronunciation, by Pau and Batiste. I probably butchered the name of the band as well, but they were a Catalonian pop duo. This was put out in '73, and I think this is a bit of a cult album amongst Catalonian folk pop music. And yeah, what an album it is as well. Another album that is very influenced by the Beatles, very, very melodic, some lovely acoustic guitar work in here, lots of very harmonious songs, some nice piano and orchestration as well. And yeah, this is a top album. I was lucky that I got some help picking this one out as well. So this was another one that I bought in Wawa Records in Barcelona, and it was highly recommended by the shop owner. And funnily enough, it was actually released on Wawa as well. So not only is Wawa Records a shop, but it's also its own record label. Similar to Gerson, they put out obscure 1960s and 70s psychedelic slash progressive acts. And yeah, this is a lovely package, lovely textured sleeve on this, really, really nice. The vinyl's beautiful as well, plus a load of extras. Yeah, the best thing is the music, kind of surreal pop melodies, some more progressive folk parts, some psych folk bits. You know, that second side especially is brilliant. The song Anna has got some lovely backwards guitar in there, and then Morris song, the last song, one of the longer songs on the album, it's 6 minutes 49, has some fantastic backing vocals, like very kind of grand sound to it. Yeah, this is really, really good. And the package itself is fantastic. So you get records, very nice. Just show you the inner. Yeah, another, I suppose, band who who definitely look to the Beatles for inspiration. Definitely that kind of mid 60s, or sorry, later 60s Beatles period. Yeah, here we go. You get this nice little 7-inch of some of these songs were unreleased songs. Not actually played this yet. I think is it demo versions as well. There's the duo there, Aye and Batiste, if I'm saying that right, I'm not sure. I believe that's their previous album, which was called Cinchonera's Cat, which has got quite a cool cover. Got a load of info about the band in both Spanish and English. See the band there. And then various other paraphernalia. Just in there again. Yeah, some of it's a little bit, I said, a little bit surreal, a little bit wacky at the beginning of side two. Some of those bits are in Spanish, so I don't really quite get it. Maybe some of the humorous side to the album is maybe lost on me because in translation. But in terms of melody and songwriting, the songs are really very, very melodic, very, very catchy. The whole package is really beautifully put together, to be honest. And like I said, I believe this is considered a bit of a cult classic in terms of Catalonian pop music. Yeah, really good stuff from 1973. That is Un Gran Die, Aye and Batiste. So to finish then, another album that would be similar in style to the Los Brincos album. This is Los Iberos from 1969. And this is another band that looked to the British invasion for inspiration. Definite influence of the Beatles there, but also of the kind of sunshine pop scene. You can hear a little bit of a Northern Soul influence in a couple of the songs as well. But yeah, a lovely psych pop feel again. I don't think this is much of a Spanish flavour as Los Brincos had. It is definitely more of a British invasion kind of vibe. But yeah, I really love that cover. See this dude here looking all kind of clockwork orange. He's got that dim look about him. This was put out in Colombia. And another band who went to London to record. The Los Iberos had been around for a while. They were a band from the south of Spain near Malaga, Torremolinos. And they kind of built up a local following before appearing in a number of Spanish weekly television shows. They appeared in Spanish movies, and I think it took them quite a while to actually put out their album. And when they did finally come to put it out, they put it out on Decca, and like I said, they recorded it in London. And I'm sure that would have been because of the influence of the Beatles and the Kinks, all these type of bands. But yeah, they were helped in the studio by these two guys, Mike Vickers and Wayne Bickerton, who helped them out a lot in the studio, and Ivor Raimondi. Now, he's an interesting character because Ivor Raimondi was actually the father of Simon Raimondi from Cocktail Twins, the Scottish dream pop band. But yeah, this is really cool. Summertime Girl is just fantastic. Sunshine pop. Back in Time is really, really good as well. Again, a mixture of English songs and songs sung in Spanish. So this guy here, Enrique Lozano, was the leader of the band, and the songs that he wrote were the ones that they sung in Spanish. Yeah, let me just show you this label. It's actually a really sad kind of end to this band. So they ended up having a bad traffic accident while they were travelling in their van, and the van driver was killed in the accident. Enrique Lozano, who was the leader, and I think it is this chap here. He was lead guitarist and main songwriter, and he ended up suffering really bad head injuries that he never recovered from. I believe he had mental health problems for the rest of his life as a result of this really horrific car crash. A while after that, his wife left him and went back to the USA and took his daughter with him, or with her. And while in the USA, they had an accident. I think it was another motor crash where his daughter died, and that kind of sent him into like a kind of spiral of depression, which he never recovered from. But yeah, a really sad end to Los Iberos. I believe as well, when the band were kind of taken off, I think that the lineup had to change due to Spanish conscription, where several members had to go and do their military service. But yeah, this is really, really, really good, really catchy, easy to get into, and just another great pop psych album with a kind of real British invasion feel, and yeah, that little bit of a soulful feel to it as well. So yeah, definitely rate this as well. Los Iberos from 1969. So there you go. That is my little dive into Spanish psych. Now, when I was out in the shops in Spain, I was wading through loads and loads of Spanish psych albums. There was lots more for me to dig into, and these were the albums that I was kind of directed to by the staff in the record shops after I told them the kind of things that I liked. But there's certainly much more that I could have explored as well, and I'll definitely will explore at a later date, maybe some of these more heavy psych albums if I'm in the mood. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, when I go to another country, I want to try and find something new. I don't want to just tread the same path that I'm going to go down when I'm in the UK and just look at the same bands that I look at when I'm here or listen to when I'm here. So it was really nice, and it was really interesting to listen to new sounds and to take advice from people who are in the know in terms of Spanish psychedelic music. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you maybe want to dip your toe into Spanish psych and try a few of these albums. And I kind of plan to maybe do similar type videos for other countries in the near future. I've got another few that I'm going to do probably before Christmas. But until the next one, like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you later. Bye for now.